Hi guys! So today I'm going to show you how I do my simple polished curls look. As you can tell, I've got some pretty naturally wavy, curly, bendy hair. I'll show you what it looks like at the back too. So you can see all those bends and waves. And so 98% of the time, I honestly don't really do anything to it. I just put in some serum or do some sea salt spray or something, and then I just let it air dry, and that works. But when I want a more polished look, I find it really painstaking to straighten. So unless I really want it straight, for a more polished look, I'll go with these really easy curls. And it's got tools and equipment you likely already have lying around. As always, it's a very easy and simple tutorial. So we're gonna start with detangling our hair. So you want to brush it or comb it, especially if you have a nice wide-toothed brush or comb. Usually I would suggest a comb, except my hairbrush actually has wider spaces than my comb. So I'm just going to brush it out. Nice, simple. Which of course, unless you're about to curl it, you shouldn't really do the curly hair because it kind of frizzes them out. So then we're going to section it. You want to section your hair into 6 or 8 sections. So I'm going to go right down the middle, and I think today we'll do 8. Okay, so that means that each one of these, so maybe kind of grab this part of the head like this to split. All right. Okay. I'm kind of trying to separate it by volume. And then when I have my halves like this, just kind of feel it through with my fingers to split them up. And I actually use hair elastics to secure these because I don't actually have those cool clips that hairstylists have. And for how rarely I even do this look, I'll stick with my elastics. So I use my hair ties and just kind of loosely put these up. Okay, so that's there. And then of course we're going to split this bottom one in half. And as you can tell, for me, there's not really an exact science with figuring these out. I just kind of want them to be evenly thick. There we go. So that's one half done. And then I'll use the other half. So, again, kind of a nice even split. And then a nice even split this way. And yes, you will look a little silly throughout creating the hairstyle, but it looks nice in the end, so that makes it worth it. Perfect. Actually, I just realized this lock here, I really should have made part of this one, so I'll just fix that really quick. Beautiful. And then these two. Okay. So even volume split. Cool. How are we doing so far? Good? All right. And as you can tell, I'm doing this tutorial in real time, so you can even follow along with me. So now we look like this, a little silly, but that's fine. And so what I like to do now is just kind of clip up the ones that might be in my way, and I start curling, basically. I moisten and curl, and I like to work from the back and bottom up to the front and top, just because these are the ones that are going to be the most visible, so I want these to be the freshest. So what we're going to do is grab a clip and put these ones all up in a clip. I just kind of coil them up on top of my head. Like that. And then we'll start with these ones. So we'll start with this one. So what I do is when I take out a section, oops, dropped my hair tie. I re-comb it out again and I spray it with water this time. This is just plain old water right here. Spritz all the way down. If you have similar hair to me, you might already know about this, but just for those of you who don't, I'm going to tell you in advance, my hair is particularly stubborn and doesn't like to style very well, which is why I have to moisten it, and I always give myself extra time with the heating tools and extra heat and all that good stuff. Okay. Now luckily the serum I did before air drying, before I air dry for that style, that serum also doubles as the heat protectant. So I've got my steps on here. Okay, so we're going to go away from the face using a curling wand. And the reason why I've used a curling wand is because I find it easier to kind of coil the hair around. There we go. And if you're wondering about where to get a curling wand like this one, you actually don't need any special equipment. I'm just going to hold that here for a few seconds, almost a minute. So you actually don't need any special equipment per se. I just used a curling iron, and I could take off the clamp with a screwdriver, and that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to hold this here for a sec. So we're going to pick up on this lock as well. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to end up coiling your hair upwards. And rolling it like that. And just hold. Okay, now when you're ready to release, I find this is a little bit delicate. You kind of want to release from above and let the curl just fall into your hand. Like you're about to see happen here. See? Perfect. And then you keep the shape of the curl. And I just use a nice simple bobby pin to pin it to my hand, to my head. A quick word of warning though, the curl is hot. Let's use one bobby pin or maybe two if it's a thicker curl. We're good. Hi again. Okay. So we kind of sped forward so that you wouldn't be looking at 10 minutes of me just holding a curling iron in place. And so now we're on the last curl. And it's just about ready. So I've gone around, I've curled in some different directions. Usually holding the curling iron kind of like this until I'm ready to release, and then I just flip it over so I can release it from above, which you're about to see. Okay, so here's how I release the curl. I do that, and I just wiggle the iron so that the curl folds into my hand and stays as intact as possible, so that I can then pin it to my head. Okay, so right now I'm looking a bit like a hot mess, but that is okay. I'm just going to take a quick sip of my water. So what you want to do now is lightly mist all your head with hairspray. That'll help set the curls. So, there we go. Let that kind of settle, and then I release the curls starting at the back. So, take out the bobby pin. And you can see them start to fall out nicely. I did say that I had a lot of hair, right? Yeah. Now you see. Okay. I think that that is it. Yes. Okay. So now that that's done, I kind of shake it out, tousle it a bit, and then finish it off with hairspray again. So do a tousle, or even just whip your hair down and back. I'm just about to do that. Perfect. Now you can see that this look in particular, you're not going to have a lot of curl with it throughout the mane. It's mostly going to be on the ends. So I just kind of break these up with my fingers. And because you've only lightly misted it with hairspray, if there's something you want to fix at this point, you can. But I think that I'm good with it. So I'm just going to spray the top real quick to create that nice sleek smoothness. And then I'll spray the bottom all together so that I give it a bit more hold. But I'm not trying to give the curls too much because I still want them to relax a little bit. And there you go. Now you've got big, beautiful curls that look polished from your mane down. I'll flick around to the back so you can see how it looks at the back. hope you enjoyed it. It's my first hair video tutorial, so it's very, very basic, but this is just one of the looks I like to do sometimes, so I thought you might enjoy it.